Dan, do you know Kristen Welker, the moderator of Meet the Press? Do you know her?
Yes. Yep.
Lovely person. Lovely
Yes.
person. Sean and I have a particular fascination with the Meet the Press Roundtable and how they book that. So let's put up this coming Sunday's Meet the Press Roundtable.
Right in your wheelhouse
And
here.
Sean, you and I sometimes notice that the roundtable doesn't necessarily reflect who is in the White House. So tell us about this. It's Courtney Kube who covers Pentagon, I think, or
Pentagon.
for NBC News. Jonathan Martin, Politico. Simone Sanders and Townsend, and Mark Short. So where would you rate this on the fairness scale of to discuss the Trump administration?
So just a real quick, I mean, Courtney's, I've interacted with her, I've, through tours of the Pentagon. She's a great military correspondent. She's got a lot of scoops. I mean, some people have their issues with her, but I think generally speaking, she's a pretty fair reporter. Her wheelhouse is obviously the Pentagon, and they're going to pick on a lot of Pentagon stuff this week. Jonathan Martin, I think, at Politico, he's done stints all over, New York Times, et cetera. I think there's no question, no one would ever argue that he is on the Trump side of the equation. He's fairly anti-Trump. Simone Sanders is the woman down in the left. She was Kamala's spokeswoman. And then Mark Short is an old Politico hand down in the bottom there. Was Vice President Pence's chief of staff on both Capitol Hill and then in the president's and in the White House. So I mean, he's a very experienced political guy, no question about it. But he's in the Pence camp. So you basically have represented there a very anti-Trump panel. And again, the issue here for me as a person is that don't try to present yourself as a show that's giving insight when you've got a moderator that's anti-Trump in Kristen, and then you have a panel that's anti-Trump. It's just, it's over and over and over again. There's no attempt to actually try to explain the Trump perspective. It is just why he sucks, why he's bad, why he's horrible. And so you've got a moderator leading the charge in Kristen, and then a panel that's going to be, for all the talk about being sycophants, they basically have a bunch of people that are going to get on there and talk about how bad Trump is. And viewers are given a disservice.
Dan, what do you think of that critique?
Oh, it's spot on. I mean, whether or not some of those people are anti-Trump, like I don't know, but there's no pro-Trump person on there. I mean that, and when he's in the White House and Republicans control all of Congress, and Congress is pretty deferential to Trump, you would imagine you would have at least one, if not two, pro-Trump voices, and they have neither.
You got to wonder whether they tried for that and no one would agree to come on, or
No,
whether
no. Look at the other shows. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all,
people would go on Meet the Press for sure.
Yeah, of course they would, because the president's going to watch it. So for the same reason, I mean, like he's not going to watch the whole thing. He DVRs everything. But at the end of the day, you're going to want to get, I mean, there's millions of as much as I despise a lot of folks who go on there, because I think it's giving oxygen to left-wing media. There are plenty of members of Congress, former members, politicos, that would go on there to give that perspective. But week after week, that's what Meet the Press does.
All right, 106, please.
And look, can I just say one last thing? I will say,
plus, if you throw enough money at it, somebody will become a regular.
No. But it's here. They have a right to do that. This is protected. They have a right. I'm just saying, don't ever think that Meet the Press or NBC is actually trying to be balanced and fair. Every time they spew that, they're lying. They're gaslighting the American people. They have an opportunity to invite guests on. They choose not to.